would like to review an abdominal crunch. I think that this is the biggest misconceptions most people have when they're doing crunches. They get in a class, they take their hands behind their head and they just start going. And then they wonder, why do I not have a six-pack? Why are my abdominals not in tight? I've been doing abdominals so much. I do Pilates classes, I do yoga classes, I do strength training, and I still don't have a flat abdominal. I don't understand. Okay, first off, remember that the abdominal muscle stretches, which means you could be doing perfect exercises in a class, and then you get in the car and you just let it all hang out. Or you sit on the sofa, or you're at your desk and you're not focusing on this area. So that's number one issue, okay? Sorry, I had to be honest with you. Okay, that's the first thing. So we need to always remember to pull in. But now, where do we pull in from? I want to say that, old-timey traditional exercise used to just tell you to suck it in from the navel. That's not necessarily correct. Okay, your abdominal muscle, you actually have three parts. But for our conversation right now, let's just focus on the rectus abdominals. That is what you would see as a six-pack. That connects from your rib cage and down to your pubic bone, okay? Now, if you can take your fingers and stick it underneath that ridge of your ribs, you are not contracting your abdominals. By contracting your rib cage in and actually creating one thing so that you cannot stick your fingers underneath, it becomes one with your abdominals, that means you're fully contracted. Here's the biggest challenge with that. Depending on what your habits have been to this point, this may be super difficult or it may be super easy. So if you have never been pulling in from your rib cage, you're probably thinking to yourself going, wait, I didn't know I can stick my fingers underneath that. And oh, if I try to squeeze it in, I can't breathe. What do I do? Calm down. Let's do this one step at a time. Step one, awareness. Where is that ridge of your ribs? And just feel like you're trying to squeeze in. Just try to squeeze in just a little bit. Don't try to squeeze too hard. Let's not master this all of a sudden. Take this one small step at a time. So master it here and release. And just feel it. Put your hands on your ribs and feel them close in and let go. Maybe you do it with your breath. So you exhale so that all your air comes out and everything squeezes in, and then you inhale. And then you exhale and you inhale. So you could start there, right? Now, this is super important because whenever you do any kind of abdominal exercise, from now on, I want you to think, wait, I have to engage my rib cage. So now let's take this to the floor. So coming down to the floor, this is the first thing I want you to do. I want you to take your hands behind your head and just keep in mind your head should weigh between 8 and 10 pounds. So I want you to hover off your mat about an inch, and I want you to feel the weight of your head. Now, once you feel the weight of your head, think of where your pelvis is. Your pubic bone should be aiming down so that your pubic bone and the edge of your pelvis is parallel to the floor. There's a little bit of an arch back here. Your ribs are kind of opened. So now what I want you to do is I want you to squeeze and close the ribs and then open the ribs. So feel the weight of your head, feel the rib cage close, feel the rib cage open without tucking your tush under. See, a lot of people, because they were so used to music, they would tuck their tush under as they're curling up, and you're not getting abdominals that way. So pubic bone is down. It is parallel to the floor with the edge of your pelvis and your pubic bone. They're parallel to the ground. Now, hands here, you're holding the weight of your head. Close the rib cage and open the rib cage. Close the rib cage and open the rib cage. That motion is what is lifting your upper body up off the ground. Not momentum, not your arms. Remember, your arms are there only to hold the weight of your head. So close the rib cage, open the rib cage. Now, this applies to any abdominal exercise you could possibly think of, okay? Possibly think of any of them. Always pubic bone down so that it's parallel, and you're closing the rib cage to work your abdominals. So keep that in mind anytime you do an abdominal exercise.